Hello and welcome to my channel, The Full State. Here we talk about different issues throughout the week that has grabbed the daily newspapers headlines. So as corona pandemic tightens its shackles on human civilization and world's grapples to hold itself, let us discuss something that provides strength to human race. Yes, we are talking about democracy. World's largest democracy in terms of area will undergo its presidential election on 3rd of November this year. The ultimate contest for the most powerful chair in the world will see incumbent Republican Donald Trump locking horns with his acquainted Democratic rival Joe Biden. The 77-year-old Joe Biden became the oldest official presidential nominee in the history of America after Democratic veteran Bernie Sanders seized his campaign. Sanders, who also unsuccessfully contested against Hillary Clinton in 2016, was once again seen the frontrunner in the primary election. He won early rounds courtesy his sway over young voters, but subsequently his campaign lost momentum after he performed miserably in some crucial states of South Carolina, Florida, Arizona, thus making Joe Biden the undisputed leader of the Democrats. The two-time Vice President Joe Biden is set to challenge the Donald Trump on various fronts. Trump, who became only the third U.S. president to face impeachment probe over using his diplomatic power as president to pin down Joe Biden in Ukraine, is not a loose defender either. The Democrat has largely shaped his campaign on the disastrous multilateralism and dueling democratic values that he argues are the aftermath of Trump policy. He rhetorically calls this election as a battle for the soul of America. The veteran politician, who served as Barack Obama's deputy, is hoping to capitalize on the reminiscence of the liberal policy initiated by Obama administration. On the issue of immigrants and refugees, Mr. Biden will try to outplay Trump by adopting more sensitive and human approach, as he believes that immigrants occupy an important position in American culture and history. He in fact promised to terminate a 2017 travel ban for Muslim majority countries and check the inhuman practice of separating the children and families at the border along with relaxing key visa norms. On the other hand, Trump's hire American and buy American policy sees outsiders as job eaters and does not have a space for immigrants. He seems to be quite confident that his hard nationalism, coupled with tough action on refugees and immigrants, will provide him an edge. As far as foreign policy is concerned, Mr. Biden has made it clear that America under him will lead by examples and would rally the world to meet common challenges. Like a quintessential Democrat, Mr. Biden harbors great importance for multilateralism and global bodies. He has even raised hopes of renegotiating the Iran nuclear deal and salvaging the missile treaties with Russia. He is also expected to continue the languishing talks with the North Korea as well as forming new credible alliances. On the other hand, Trump has from the beginning is quite brazen against the multilateralism. He is in famous decision of leaving the Paris Climate Agreement, quitting UNESCO, withdrawal from the United Nations Human Rights Commission, and dishing Iran midway in the nuclear deal has earned him this reputation. But both parties are equally conscious about their position on China. Neither wants to commit or drop guard against Beijing, and both are accusing each other of playing soft. So chances of a new approach towards China is not likely. Similarly, both have promised to end forever wars in Afghanistan and Yemen, so the Middle East vacuum is inevitable. But the most contrasting issue for the election will be climate change, which will also validate and shape the future of climate crisis in the world. Trump, who has repeatedly called it as a hoax, has pushed for subsidies to increase fossil fuel production and withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement, can't find a tougher challenger than the Biden, who has placed climate change as his top priority and ensured the immediate rejoining of Paris Climate Agreement as well as locking in enforceable commitments. He intends to take a leading and persuasive role against the climate change in the world. He aims to make America a clean energy superpower by achieving a clean energy economy with net zero emission by 2050. As corona pandemic bared its breath on America and claimed more than 70,000 lives, this health crisis has become a political issue. Trump has been accused of wasting key time in cornering China. His laggard and unscientific approach towards the outbreak and lack of commitment towards lockdown might cost him hard this time around. On the other hand, Joe Biden has rallied for more proactive and immediate response for the pandemic. He even called for spending whatever it takes without delay to meet public health needs and deal with the mounting economic consequences. He aims to have a more measured direct policy to revive the hard hit economy than the Coronavirus Aid Relief and Economic Security Act implemented by Trump. Unlike India, big industries and economic market is what enjoys greater influence over politics in America. And who would know it better than the Donald Trump himself? The Republican from the inception has transformed the laid down priorities in America. He has been successful in not only cutting exceptional tax rates and attracting investment, but has increased the employment rates as well. Being a practitioner of protectionism, he has campaigned hard to decrease the trade deficit and has pulled off America from the so-called resource trading activities by rebuking climate change. Trump has catalyzed the spurt in American shale oil and energy sector. But it has also come at the cost of rising inequality and slowdown in the market. Trade barriers has contributed to inflation and sleeping demands. To address this concern, the Biden has called its economic policy to rebuild the middle class, which differs in socialistic ambition from the Trump policy. A shift from industries to middle class is evident in Biden policy, where affordable healthcare and education is placed before wage growth and job creation. His past indicates that he is a crusader of stringent arms law and that might upset the lucrative gun industry. But in the lieu of climate action, Biden has conceded a self goal by dropping hints of banning fracking process of shale oil extraction, which, if executed, will cost millions of jobs and large losses for the U.S. oil sector. This has already generated sharp criticism for the Biden. As for India, both parties know the significance of popular sentiment and value of Indian diaspora. Therefore, both are playing safe and cautious. Despite sharing bonhomie with Modi and India, Trump has maintained a parallel relation with India on different fronts. On security and South Asia, both stood side by side, with US providing sanction waivers and India buying military hardwares. But his over willingness for interfering in Kashmir and constant pandering of Taliban and Pakistan have also embarrassed Delhi. Moreover, it is the trade relation that tested the cohesion between the two nations, first limiting H1 visas, then hitting India with trade tariffs, followed by designating it as a tariff king, and then terminating generalized system of preferences. He has been consistently being inconsistent on both the fronts. But the Democrat has not yet completely revealed his plan for India. By being silent on Kashmir and CAA issue, he has tacitly raised hopes of being blind on India. Favoring this is his past experience with India during Obama's tenure when he visited Delhi. His liberal policy and climate action are always a plus for India. But his position on terrorism, trade, and Afghan policy is what will decide the fate of Indian US relation. Only time will tell who is coronated as the 46th president on the 20th of January 2021. So, thank you very much. Keep tuning to this.